Hey guys, what's up? Spartacus here. Today I'm starting a new guide series in which I will talk about how to defeat the bosses of each Ark map. And just like the title says, today we have the island's boss guide. So, the island has the original 3 bosses, the Broodmother, the Megapithecus, and the Dragon. We're gonna talk about their strengths, their weaknesses, and which dinos are the best to use against them. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and maybe share it with your friends. Let's jump into it. Before we start analyzing each boss, I'm gonna talk about the 2 creatures that are more or less a must for any boss army in Ark. Of course, I'm talking about the Daeodon and the Yuty. The Daeodon is your on-field medic that can really make the difference between losing a tame from your army in a boss battle or that tame to barely escape alive. It has a pretty big AoE heal that is powered by its food stat, so you will need a lot of food to keep that heal going. Now, at the Gamma level, you can certainly face the bosses without this guy, but for the Alpha variants, I would recommend having him with you. The Yuty on the other hand, is an absolute must for any battle at any difficulty. The Courage Roar of the Yuty grants allied tames a 25% damage buff and a 20% damage resistance buff. To put that into perspective, let's compare a Rex army with a Daeodon and 19 Rexes, and one with a Daeodon, a Yuty, and 18 Rexes. We'll take the Rex as our base of 100% fighting power and 100% tanking power. In the first army we have a total of 1900 fighting power and tanking power. For the second army that is boosted by the Yuty, we have 2250% fighting power and 2160% tanking power. It's actually better than a full Rex army. And we can also afford to take the Daeodon with us. So yeah, these guys are really a must. Now let's talk about these bosses, starting with the Broodmother. It's supposed to be the easiest boss battle, and that is reflected in the amount of element you receive from defeating her. However, it's usually considered to be stronger than the Megapithecus, due to its massive health pool. Besides the web attack that slows you down and applies torpor to you, there's nothing really special about her. So what should you bring? Well, a basic Rex army could do the trick thanks to their good stats, but even better than that would be a Spino army, since in this arena there are water ponds, so the Spinos can utilize the hydration buff for more damage and health regen. The Shadow Mains could also utilize this buff, but there are no Shadow Mains to tame on the island. And probably even better than the Spino army or the Shadow Mains would be a Megatherium army. Why is that? After all, they're similar in stats with the Spino while having half the damage, plus no hydration buff. Well, actually, the Megatheriums deal 150% damage to insects, arthropods, arachnids, etc. And that applies to the Broodmother as well. Multiply that by another 250% towards all target thanks to the insect killer buff that the Megatherium gets when he kills the little spiders spawned by the Broodmother, and we have outpaced the Spino a little bit in DPS. As a side note, the Spino would be greatly outpaced by the Megatherium, but unmounted Megatheriums use their secondary attack, which has a really slow attack speed. But that's not all. The Insect Killer buff also grants a whopping 75% damage resistance to all damage sources. Pair them with some good saddles and you can easily see why the Megatheriums are the best for this battle. Moving on to the Megapithecus. Widely considered the weakest boss thanks to its low health, it's more of a glass cannon type of boss. However, thanks to the arena, this fight can still be very dangerous. First of all, it's cold here. If you don't come properly equipped for cold, on the alpha difficulty, you might die of cold before the fight finishes. And the even more dangerous part, this hole right here. If anything drops there, it will instantly die. Sounds fun, right? Because of this, the most common strategy is to lure the Megapithecus towards your army instead of going after it. The Spino is still a good choice here, even though it lacks the hydration buff. You can also use Aloes or Therizinos, and a really popular and fun strategy you can do if you plan to take on the Megapithecus with a tribe is to use Woolly Rhinos. They get up to 800% damage boost depending on their movement speed. This makes them viable if ridden and imprinted, since the Megapithecus has low health, but probably the best for this fight is the Rex, thanks to its combination of high health, good damage, and the fact that the other contenders don't get any buffs in this fight. A Rex army equipped with good saddles can actually face the Megapithecus multiple times in a row, making this fight a really easy one to farm element. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. My sub goal is to reach 5,000 subs by the end of this summer. And considering 97.5% of my viewers are not subscribed, we might be able to do that. So guys, click that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Okay, next we have the dragon, the hardest of the three. While the Megapithecus was quite weak and the Broodmother was hard countered by the Megatherium, the dragon is a nightmare to face. The arena is dangerous due to the high temperatures and lava, so a great start to this fight. The dragon has two primary attacks, the fireball, which deals a lot of bonus damage to carnivores and also damages the rider, and the fire breath attack, which deals both direct and percentage based damage. The dragon can also fly, so I recommend you bring some ascended firearms to deal some damage while it flies. You might as well want to keep moving around the map while the dragon is in the air, since it can use the fireball attack when it's flying. And if that wasn't enough danger for the survivors, it also summons Pteranodons and Dimorphodons, which, as you might know, prioritize attacking players. For the lower difficulties, you can still try using Rexes, though you will lose some. The Rhino strategy with riders is still viable, since you will be moving a lot around the map, making it hard for the dragon to hit you. Plus, Rhinos don't take the extra bonus damage from the fireball anyways, but it might still kill the rider. Veggie are also a must to heal the damage dealt by the fire breath. But the best option you have on the island is the Therizinosaurus. Its stats are comparable to a Rex and it's a herbivore, so it takes less damage and can be healed very fast with Veggie. So yeah, that's your best bet. You will need some good stats on them though, and probably some good saddles for the alpha difficulty. Keep in mind that the fire breath attack ignores armor. And that's it, these are the best tames for each boss fight on the island. Thanks for watching, and you thought I forgot about the Overseer, right? Of course I didn't. The Overseer is the final boss of the map, and can be faced after you defeat the three aforementioned guardians. The first big problem is the tech cave that you have to go through in order to get to the Overseer. It's filled with powerful creatures, such as Rexes, Allos, Yutys, and even Gigas and Karkars. It's both extremely hot and extremely cold inside, so you will need a fur and a ghillie suit or a tech suit. You have 60 minutes to get to the Overseer battle, or you will lose everything. My advice is to clear the cave with a few of your creatures and keep the best for the Overseer. And the best dino for this task is the Carcharodontosaurus. If you wanna know why, go check out the video in the description. For the Overseer battle, my recommendation is to use Therizinos. They are smaller and less chunky than the Rex, which helps with traversing the cave because the path is a bit narrow and there are a lot of lava pools. Now, you can bring up to 50 creatures inside the tech cave, and it's possible to bring them all into the boss arena by teleporting each player of your tribe one at a time with a batch of dinos. But remember, if you're solo, all dinos that cannot fit on the teleporter will be lost forever. And they're really good against the Overseer, because the Overseer has the ability to transform in each of the three guardians, including the dragon. As you already know, the Theri is the best against the dragon. I highly advise you to do this cave with some tribe mates, and to bring a lot of consumables, such as med brews, cryo curries, Callian soups, etc. Also bring some powerful ranged weapons and tons of ammo to take down the attack drones before you're overwhelmed. In a tribe it's easier since you can split the tasks between players. One can Yuty buff, one can deal with the drones, one can lead the pack into battle, etc. The fight is hard since the Overseer has a shield and it can only be damaged when it's not transformed. It also has some laser beams that you have to avoid since they dismount riders. Plus there are drones that you have to eliminate before they overwhelm you. So yeah, you'll have to do an amazing job with the Yuty in this fight, splitting yourself between buffing and killing drones. Also bring Veggie for your Theris, a lot of them. You will thank me for that. And that's it guys, we just covered all 4 boss battles on the island. Let me know in the comments which map do you want next. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and see you next time. Spartacus, out.